So I'm giving y'all a free bonus from the beginning. This is 15 things to know before you come to New Orleans. Number 16, this is a bonus. Do not drive down Bourbon Street when it gets dark. Don't do it. I don't even recommend driving down Bourbon Street during the day when it's not dark. What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B, and today we're going to talk about things that you should know before you come to the city of New Orleans. Let's go. The very first thing you should know before you come to the city of New Orleans is the French Quarters, Bourbon Street in particular, can get very filthy, dirty at night. But when you have people partying and drinking and having a good time all night, people they fill the trash cans up and they throw on top of the trash cans, they throw up. There's the cops that ride around on the horses. There's horse poop on the ground. Like, it can get really disgusting, just like many big cities when there's a lot of partying. And a lot of people don't like this about New Orleans and they leave disappointed. Don't let this ruin your vacation. You're going to have a great time here. And the Sweet Sweepers do a great job overnight. The second thing you should know about the city of New Orleans is the weather, in particular the summer heat. Pretty much from June to September, it's going to be really, really hot and humid, and it's going to be that type of humidity that sticks to you coming out of the airport, walking on Bourbon Street. You could be in the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning and come out and your sweat will sweat. That's how humid it will be. Now, during the winter times, it's usually pretty nice. It gets a little chilly at times, but not too bad. You should also know that it rains a lot in New Orleans. And it rains in this region. I know people associate rain with the Pacific Northwest, but I'm going to tell you, New Orleans is the fourth rainiest city in the country, and the Gulf Coast has all of the cities with the most rainfall. So when I talk about the most rainfall, I mean when it rains here, it rains heavy. It rains often and it rains heavy, so a lot of thunderstorms. So also be prepared for hurricane season, which is also like June through September. It can be really bad. The third thing you should know before coming to the city of New Orleans is do not get accommodation on Bourbon Street. Now, you can stay a couple blocks off of Bourbon Street. Maybe even Royal won't be as bad, but I recommend staying in the Central Business District, couple blocks off of Bourbon Street, not even a 5-minute walk. Or maybe, get an Airbnb or something and stay out on Magazine Street area. That's a really nice area. You can have a really good time, a lot of shops and all. But if you choose to stay on Bourbon Street, there's many hotels on Bourbon Street or right off of Bourbon. It is going to be really loud, and I hope you're a night owl and you enjoy partying all night, because if you try to go to sleep at a decent time, you might wake up at 3 in the morning because of music. Number 4 is New Orleans is more than just the French Quarters. There's a lot of nice areas and things to do in New Orleans. You could go to Treme. There's a lot of great restaurants. Willie Mays is one of the restaurants you want to check out. But also, you got the World War II Museum. You got the Warehouse District. You got a lot of museums in the art area. You have so much to do in the city. You got to go down Magazine Street, cruise down Magazine Street. You also got to go to Frenchman Street. You got to go check out the French Market area. There's so many areas to the city, and you can just hop on the streetcar and do that, which I would recommend you doing. I also highly recommend the City Park area. The City Park area has an art museum, a sculpture garden, and it also has a children's museum. And then there's so much area out there, green area, to walk your dogs and go play and jog. The fifth thing you should know before you come to New Orleans is the streetcar is very efficient. A lot of people don't take the streetcar, and you could go on the app and if you don't have the cash and pay by card, it's only like $1.75, or if you got the change on you, you could pay it that way. But it takes you to most of the tourist areas that you're going to go to. It's going to take you down Magazine Street. It's going to take you to the area by the aquarium. It's going to take you to the Central Business District, and it'll take you to the French Quarters, like a block away from Bourbon Street. So you can ride the streetcar and you don't have to deal with the nightmare that is parking in New Orleans. The sixth thing to know before you come to New Orleans is the drinking laws, not just in New Orleans, but Louisiana in general. Louisiana has very loose liquor laws, but New Orleans in particular, you can walk around and drink anywhere in the French Quarters as long as you got your drink in a plastic cup. And also in Louisiana, you can buy liquor in your grocery stores. A lot of the country finds that to be very weird, that you can go in Walmart or your local supermarket and buy hard liquor. But yeah, you can buy hard liquor in corner stores. You can buy them in grocery stores. It's pretty much everywhere in New Orleans. It's how it works in Louisiana. Number 7 is you can bring your kids to New Orleans. Don't be afraid to bring your kids, because we know Bourbon Street's a party destination, in particular at night. But hey, you can go on Bourbon Street a little bit of the French Quarter during the day with your kids. But you got a wonderful children's museum. You got tons of art everywhere. Street art, multiple art museums. You have a great, fantastic zoo. You have an outstanding aquarium. You have so many things you can do with your kids out in New Orleans. So don't be afraid to bring your kids to the city of New Orleans and have a good time with them. Just don't bring them to the French Quarters at night. Maybe leave them in when you get ready to party. So other than that, it should be good. You can even take them on walking tours. Have a good time. You should know before you come to the city of New Orleans is something that's talked about a lot, is the high crime rate in New Orleans. As far as the crime rate goes in New Orleans, I would just do the same exact things I go do anywhere else when I travel. You know, stay in a pack, stay around people, stay with your group, and don't go walking down dark alleys. Don't go walking to projects or any place that looks kind of sketchy. Just stay away from, those areas that look like it might be a problem. Stay away from people that look like they might be a problem if they're too drunk and they're fighting, or they're getting ready to start some crap. Instead of running to the fight to watch it, just stay away from it. Just take all of the regular safety precautions you would take anywhere else, and you'll be just fine in New Orleans. We take a chance anytime we go out in public, so just do the right things and you'll be fine. The ninth thing you should know about New Orleans is it's so much more than Mardi Gras. This city has a ton to do, and there's music all the time. It is huge on music, live shows everywhere, and the fact that, you have so many festivals. Almost every other weekend during the summer and the fall, there's a different festival, and it's not Mardi Gras. So, there's a lot you can do here that has nothing to do with Mardi Gras. Number 10 on the list of things you should know. This one's going to be real obvious as soon as you get into the city, and that's the uniqueness itself of New Orleans. Everything about the city of New Orleans is very unique. From an American standpoint, from a national standpoint, there's such an infusion of different cultures here in New Orleans that everything you see here, it kind of reminds you of different cultures all infused together. And that's what makes New Orleans so special. New Orleans is an extremely unique place, from the voodoo culture to the culture of the people here, and the food, and of course the music. Not to mention French and Spanish all infused together. New Orleans is one of the most unique places you're going to find. You're going to find with the architecture, the art, the drinks, everything. The cemeteries are incredible. Most people never really think anything about cemeteries until they come to New Orleans, and then everyone wants to go on a cemetery tour of New Orleans, because New Orleans has the most unique cemeteries anywhere that I've seen. The 11th thing you should know before you come to New Orleans is one that I'm sure you've seen many times on TV and heard about, and that is the fact that Bourbon Street can get really, really wild at night. The partying on Bourbon Street, on a normal night can really go easily past 3, 4 in the morning and later, and with the drunk tourists and all, it can get very, very wild. So yeah, I say you can bring your kids to New Orleans. Do not bring your kids to Bourbon Street at night. You can probably bring your kids during the day and be okay. It's not too bad, but all the wildness and people doing all the crazy stuff and illegal stuff and the fighting and all seems to happen at night. The partying on Bourbon Street is definitely over the top. I know you see all this on TV, but in real life, it can be really over the top. It can be overwhelming, but it can be fun. The 12th thing you should know when you come to the city of New Orleans is the airport is in Kenner, Louisiana, which is not awfully far from New Orleans, but it's not awfully close either. So understand, traffic's usually horrible on this stretch. So what's not really that long a stretch with no traffic is probably a 10 to 15 minute drive to the French Quarters. In normal traffic, you might end up being 30 to 45 minutes getting from the airport to the French Quarter. So when you book a hotel out here, understand you get an Uber ride there. The Uber ride may not be too cheap. It may cost you a little bit. So you might want to book accommodations closer. The 14th thing you should know before you come to the city of New Orleans is parking is a pain. And keep that in mind. Occasionally you'll get lucky and you'll find a parking spot somewhere by a paid meter or an open spot where you can just pull in for free occasionally, but that's not going to happen very often. The parking is horrible. Sometimes you might ride around for an hour looking for a parking spot because parking can be very limiting, and you'll end up paying by one of these parking meters that you got to pay per hour online most of the time. Recommendations if you're driving down to New Orleans is leave your car at the hotel, valet park it, wherever you can find, even if you got to pay per day to park it, leave it behind, take the streetcar. Do not ride around looking for parking because parking is not easy to find in the city. The 15th thing you should know before you come to New Orleans, if you're an art lover, there's art everywhere within the city. Murals painted everywhere. There's pieces of art everywhere. And I'm not just talking about the art museums, which are fantastic, in the art district. You can just walk around the city and just enjoy the art everywhere. There's all types of little shops on side streets selling art. Like literally, you could buy your art pieces, have them shipped to you down in Jackson Square area right by St. Louis Cathedral. There's all types of statues and benches and everything. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I ask that you please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification so you can know when I have more material coming out in the future. Help us to continue to grow as a travel community. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace!